We are live, NBA rundown time, runpuresports.com, the best in daily fantasy and sports betting information. And we have quite the slate tonight, and we have quite the eloquent guest today, Travis. So not only is this going to be an early look, but, if we don't manage our time right, this could also end up being the Up to Lock show, the way that we break down some games today. So I'll do our best. Can't promise there won't be any detours, but hey, we're not going to rush things too much, right? I haven't seen you for a little bit. How have things been in the NBA DFS streets? I know baseball took all the, all the shine off us yesterday, and people are doing a lot of things. But when it comes to NBA DFS, how have your strategies been working, and what have you thought about the way the slates have been playing out?
Yeah, I mean, NBA DFS has been going well for me, so I can't complain. I had that nice hit on the weekend, so that was good. I'm happy with everyone, just stroking it to MLB. Go play MLB if you want. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be here for the 13-game slate, adjusting for every 30 minutes for all the different pieces of news, right? I'm gonna be here grinding it out. So listen, you can focus on the pitchers and catchers. I'll just tail Joey working his winners, right? I did some content yesterday from MLB. I'll have it up today. It'll be a quicker look than normal because, again, I got 13 basketball games to go through. I got to do it here. I got to do it on the Hardwood show. I also have to do it with Kay Fallick, and we know Kevin hates the free show, so I got to manage him throughout the show as well. So I got a lot on my plate today, but I'm excited for the NBA today. It's 13 games. It's a lot, but these slates just got to kind of make adjustments throughout the day, and I don't know. I think it's going to be a good one.
All right. And Tyler, if there was any chance that this was going to be a quick show, it just got even less likely because I see the smiling face of Discord. All right. He's here. He's going to try and get me off my game, try and get me away from these games. But Tyler, we only had one play on the sheet last night. Unfortunately, we dropped it, but I do think that we need to talk about it.
Dropped it. We dug a hole and put it 50 points below.
I'll be honest, though. I
point.
actually like those losses more than the Pelicans lost the night before or that Memphis Grizzlies loss.
I'd much rather lose by 50 than, be up 20. And
then we're up by 20 and we have plus 8.5. Or we're up by 25 and we're laying 6. Yeah.
Tyler, are you worried about the Celtics coach? Is it panic time? Is it all over?
Anybody could have coached that team last night when they're making every three that leaves everyone's hands.
Yeah, I mean,
Tyler's not going to give him credit.
I'm not going to give him credit.
I know.
Is this like Budenholzer?
I will not give that man credit until he's holding that trophy up.
Yeah, so Tyler won't give him credit too when they win the Eastern Conference Finals. This is what he'll do. This is the excuse. I already have the Bucks fans' excuse. It's already figured out. Yeah, we were never going to win this year. Chris Middleton was banged up all year, and he ended up going down in the postseason. There's nothing you can do about injuries. That's the excuse. Cue that up. 2 months from now, that's every single Bucks fan excuse when they do not beat the Boston Celtics.
Man, I got to get sent title a link right now. I can already feel that we're gonna get get double teamed here. But to your point, right? Travis doesn't want to give Joe Mazzulla credit. Where's Mike Budenholzer on your coach rankings, Travis?
Yeah, he's
got a ring, right?
No, great.
Yes, he's trying to throw him.
There's nothing he can do, right? There's just some.
Spread. There's a lot of girls in life that got rings and they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike Budenholzer.
Who's that one that you guys all love on some country show?
Oh, that's Team Kylie. Yeah, I don't think she has a ring. I think she's still working on her phone. So I don't know. I didn't tune into the episode on Wednesday night, so I'm not sure.
Isn't she following a bunch of you guys back?
Yeah, I think so. The old Team Kylie, that was JT Hayes birthed that one while we watched because we weren't intentionally watching the show. When you're sitting watching March Madness and the news comes on, and then like after the news something else comes on, you never change the channel. Yeah, that's kind of how that all came about.
Why am I not surprised that something crazy was birthed by JT Hayes? So all right, guys, I'm not going to look at the chat. I'm not going to let that smiling face derail me. I'm going to dive right in to our games tonight because let's see.
Before you do that, we got to give a shout out to our guy, We the People, in the chat. He hit the Tatum 5+ threes and win last night.
Good call.
We got to give a shout out to our girl Meg yesterday. 30+ Ingram points, and they beat Denver at plus 5-1. Jokic gets rolled out like I thought before the game, and then there they went. There went the Pelicans to pick up the win. So great call by her, and great call by our guy, We the People.
Yeah, Meg, right? Like I said, she's humble. She doesn't come on here, but she just gives out a lot of winners, right? She may not promote herself like Ric Flair and stuff, saying she's the best of all time, but she's giving out those winners, and we definitely enjoyed that one yesterday. Let's dive right into today. Well, I guess there's not that many crazy spreads, but this is one of them. Chicago Bulls are -10. They're taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Tyler, you wanted to crown the Lakers Western Conference champions because they beat the Bulls, but the Bulls have now lost 3 of their last 5 games. The Hornets have won 3 of their last 4 games here. So 2 teams trending in different directions. The Hornets are catching 10 at home. Tyler, while we're doing the show, I'm going to be plugging my numbers in, so I don't have projections up for this game yet. But just looking at a +10 with Charlotte, I'm thinking my projections are going to like the Hornets. What are you going to say about that?
I'm not taking the Hornets because those 4 games they won, 2 of them were against Dallas. 1 of them was against OKC, who can't seem to beat anyone when they lay double digits, and Indiana without any of their guards. So those couple wins mean nothing to me. Even though Chicago's not the best team, they're playing some of the best defense in the league. Yeah, they lost to the Lakers last time out, but it's the Lakers we're talking about. The Bulls are going to pretty much come in here, I think, play some good defense, lock down on the Hornets. And I don't trust these Hornets pieces to be able to beat this Bulls team. Levine and DeRozan should eat them up. I think they win this game by about 15. I'm on the Bulls.
Wow, okay, so we're on opposite sides here. I like the Hornets. Tyler's laying the points with the Bulls. What do you think, Travis?
I definitely do not like the Bulls. I just don't like this Bulls team in general. I actually think the Hornets, I don't know. JJ always makes this reference, right, in baseball, right? That team that keeps winning games. What's going to happen, Spread? They're randomly going to start losing, or the team that's lost 9 straight. This is the bounce back spot. I would ride the wave with Charlotte a little bit here. I don't think it's a bad call. It's obviously going to be a good spot for some of these guys DFS wise. You could make a case that Nikola Vucevic could have a big game against Charlotte. Yeah, good matchup. But the issue I'm going to have on this slate is when you have all these different pieces of value, which we're going to have a ton of value today. It's a 13-game slate. And some of the value is, so pretty good at the center position. I don't see myself getting a Vucevic. I don't see myself getting a Levine or DeRozan. The other thing that you're going to have to look at is the Charlotte side of the ball, which Charlotte is in an interesting spot because they are missing a lot of players, but the prices are now officially up, right? And they're not just up. They're up from last game that Dennis Smith Jr. happened to sit out, right? He sat that game. The news came at 7:59 p.m. I'm telling you, I saw it. I had 20 seconds to make the swaps. I didn't get the swaps off. I was literally at a traffic light when it happened. It wasn't happening. Yeah, I was trying. I was like, the light was red, and I was like, I got to try and pull this off. And I could not get the swap in. But good news is, I think this is a spot where we don't have to play Charlotte. Charlotte has been frustrating. Obviously, they did something that, was really annoying last game. But because Dennis Smith Jr. sat that game, you had PJ Washington. His price got hiked up to 8.5K. Now Dennis Smith Jr. is back, right? That is going to muddy some things up. Theo Maldon's at 5.5K. Mark Williams, 5'8". I don't hate him, but I think I just prefer some other centers. Nick Richards is 6K. Svi is 6.3K. It just doesn't feel like a slate that you need to do this. So, Spread, I think we're starting the first one off. I know I talked a lot about it, but we're starting the first one off with a cross-off for the most part. Maybe Vucevic is a stud spend, but I just think center is going to be too deep that you're not going to want to take that chance with Vucevic. But I could see routes where it happens.
All right, now I know you don't sit in with us, but let's just say you were sitting in with us. Tyler and I disagree when we're doing the tag sometimes. I'm going to like Charlotte. He's going to like Chicago. Let's say we said, Travis, you break the tie. Where does the tag go?
It's Charlotte. I feel good about Charlotte over Chicago, too. I'm not betting on this Bulls team. I'd rather bet on the Charlotte team that's rolling. And, we talk about motivation. I mean, what on earth motivation do the Bulls have? And, yeah, you can make the case, what does Charlotte have? But these guys are, trying to, make rosters, right? And, actually, prove their worth for next season, right? Dennis Smith Jr., he's trying to get that highlight reel for next year. I don't know if he's a free agent, but you get my point, right? Some of these guys are actually competing for their lives and their livelihood. And some of these other Bulls it's a situation where I just think they're going to really kind of shut it down here towards the end of the season.
Yeah. And like I always say, when you're a terrible team to begin with, what's the drop off when you're missing your best players, right? Because they weren't very good to begin with. So it's not the same as Milwaukee or Boston. missing their best players. So, Tyler, we can continue that conversation when we're putting up the tags on the NBA Playbook, available at runpuresports.com. Become a member to get access to all the winning plays. That's all I can really say. Orlando Magic are -1. They're in Washington. They're taking on the Wizards. The total is 225.5. Tyler, we had counted the Wizards out, but with the Bulls kind of, swooning right now, the Wizards are actually got 2 games within the Bulls with 5 or 6 to go. So even though in reality they're probably dead, technically they're still alive. They host Orlando tonight. Yet Orlando's favored here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm on Orlando. I mean, you're talking Chicago's in shambles. Washington can catch them. Orlando's kind of right there. None of these teams in the East are catching anybody. The play-in's locked up. No one's catching Chicago. No one's catching Toronto. So this game is just 2 outsiders looking in. One team, Washington, sitting all their main guys. The other coming off the win over the Celtics. But I'd take nothing out of that because it looks like the Celtics just looked ahead to the game last night. So you look at Orlando. They're 7-0 ATS in their last 7. They've played very well. I'm on Orlando here. I think they roll in. The Porzingis shouldn't be able to have that good a game against this Orlando team either. They have a couple big bodies they can throw at him. Carter can follow him to the outside, so can Banchero. And I think Banchero's in a spot where he could just smash this Washington team. They really don't have anybody that can guard him. And it's just a nice spot. Getting him -1, I like Orlando here. I think they pick up the win.
And although Banchero's probably going to get Rookie of the Year, right, with the performance to Jalen Williams, it would be nice for him to just put up some monster performances to end the season. Travis, do you have any interest in this game? Has the pricing reflected the Wizards being out? And how are you approaching the Magic and the Wizards?
Yeah, I actually think the Wizards are still kind of in play, but it's mainly Porzingis, right? And one reason why, and I talk about this a lot with these situations, like, for instance, you see some of these guys like Denny Avdia, right? Denny Avdia was what? He was like, I don't know, like 4-3 when we started playing him in this like situation. And his games have been amazing, right? 28, 37, 33, 47, 37, 47. He's now 7-1. And can he pay off that 7-1 price tag? Yes, he can. Not saying he's a bad play. I think he could be in play. If I play him, I want him at like that single-digit ownership. I don't think it's a terrible spot, but it's not an incredible one for me. But Porzingis' price, that's the guy that his price has not really changed, right? If you look, he was 8.7K back on like March 14th. Now he's only 9.5, right? It's not that big of a gap. It's an $800 difference. And the roll is incredible. Now, the downside is if they get blown out, losing an entire fourth quarter rotation from your stud, that's not it, especially when you get blown out. It just absolutely buries you. But are you worried about the Orlando Magic walking into Washington and blowing them out? I'm not exactly worried about it. Could it happen? Yes, anything can happen. It's in the range of outcomes. But I think it's not as likely, and I think it's a good spot for Kristaps Porzingis. We've seen big men destroy Orlando. 9.5 for Porzingis, power forward and center eligible too. I like him in this spot. He's someone I'm definitely looking to play. If I play him, though, again, I like to get contrarian sometimes with my studs. So I'll just have to think about, hey, I can't play all the chalk value with him, right? So you got to find some spots to be different within your lineup. But I really like Porzingis at 9.5K. He's definitely a stud that's on my radar in this Orlando matchup. And then I'm not really excited about anyone on Orlando. No disrespect to Paolo Banchero. I did that once. I'm not disrespecting him here. I just don't think it makes the most sense on a 13-game slate. But overall, it's really Porzingis and Denny Avdia, and that's really it. Again, 13-game slate. We got a lot of different spots we're going to talk about. We got a long injury report, obviously, to discuss throughout the day. So that'll be very important. Like, I didn't mention that Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable. I should have mentioned that. Oubre's questionable, but that could money things up. So there's a lot of different factors. And Daniel Gafford is questionable here in this game as well, which, like, I mean, that obviously could, like, secure just, like, even a couple more minutes for Porzingis. And it could even is this crazy? Could Taj Gibson start next to Porzingis? And listen, Taj Gibson starting next to Porzingis has got to be good for him, right? I mean, right? So, yeah, I think overall, this is definitely a spot. We got to like some Washington options. It's mainly Porzingis as a spend, and I don't mind Denny Avdia as a very contrarian, uncomfortable play at 7-1. But does he have the ability to have a good game? Yeah, he does. It's just not as comfortable for sure. So it's definitely more of a contrarian tournament play.
Are there any props for this game before we move on?
Nothing right now. I still got to go over some numbers and plug those in on the playbook. So for all the members, they can check out the playbook. That's where they'll be at tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be earning our money today going over all these. So guys, if you're not a member, I don't know what you're doing. RunPureSports.com. Use that promo code Spread15, and of course, the other two gentlemen will give out their promo codes over the course of the show. The Oklahoma City Thunder are -3.5. They're in Indiana, Tyler. They're taking on the Pacers. The Thunder are one of those teams, right, that I'm rooting for, right, as a premier Lakers hater. I need the Thunder to get wins, and the Pacers look like they're going to help me out because Tyrese Halliburton, who's been the engine to this team's offense, he's going to sit. Chris Duarte, who, boy, he's had a disappointing sophomore season, you'd have to say. He's out. Buddy Hield is back. I read an article about him being banned from the gym because he was so sick and they didn't want to get the rest of the team sick. Looks like he's defeated that non-COVID illness that he had. Aaron Nesmith, who actually is I think he's a nice solid contributor for the Pacers. He's going to play, but we're waiting on these two big ones. And Travis is probably going to scoff when I say this is big news, but I really think it is. Miles Turner, questionable. And then, of course, no one's going to argue the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Q tag means a lot to this game. So, Tyler, I know we're not going to want to get involved in this game, but maybe go through some if-then scenarios and talk to me. Am I right saying that I do want to wait for that Turner news, or do you think I'm overvaluing his impact on the team?
I mean, I don't think the Turner news impacts you as much as the SGA on the other side. Like, if SGA's out, I want nothing to do with this game. We've watched OKC lay double digits 3 times in a row when he's been out to teams like Detroit, the Hornets, and I think it was the Hornets twice. They barely – I don't think they covered any of those games, and they barely won all 3 of them.
Right.
Now, even though they're -4 here against an Indiana team, if SGA is not on the floor, I want nothing to do with this game. I'm not backing the dog here either. So his news decides if I bet this game or not. If he's in, I'm all over OKC. I think they kind of walk in. He just has whatever bucket he wants, scores 30+, and they kind of walk away with an easy win. If he's out, I'm staying away from it completely. But, again, we talk about this most improved player award spread almost every show.
Yeah.
Morgan is now down to -420. He hasn't played in 4 games.
And I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, he might not play another game
next. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play another game.
SGA still hanging in that +280 range. Could possibly get a play-in spot and an All-NBA team. So I think he can still get it. And Robert, it's not dead yet when the other guy's not playing games.
But what is Robert saying?
He's trying to say Lauri's got this locked up. It's not locked up. The dude hasn't played in a month.
No, I bet SGA as well. And in the article, and this is about a month ago, in the article I wrote, I actually said that I thought Lauri deserved it. But I thought at the time that SGA provided some more value. Travis, talk to me about this game. I know you're so adept at handling the news. Do you think it would be more advantageous for you tonight if SGA played or if he sat?
I mean, I'd just rather SGA play so I don't have to think about playing the OKC Thunder.
Okay.
Easier. So that's what I hope for. I mean, I do think Josh Giddey, you just can't ignore exactly what he's doing here, right? He's been pretty good. Jalen Williams, I know the price has gone up a bit on him. Let's see where it's at now. Pulling up OKC stuff here. OKC, he's at 8.7 Giddey, and then Jalen Williams is 7.5. He's only power forward eligible too, which is like, it is kind of annoying because sometimes like I had that issue the other night. But yeah, I just don't know if I'm going to end up getting there as much. The SGA thing matters. It is the Indiana matchup. That is something else I wasn't accounting for too. And when you take SGA actually out of all the projections and stuff, I mean, these guys are going to pop a little bit. Like you're going to have to like consider Josh Giddey and Jalen Williams. Just depends what you kind of think of some of the other pieces of news that we're going to have here on this slate. Indiana's definitely, again, it's a team that's on like top 5 list of teams to target in DFS. So can't ignore it. And then you also can't ignore the news. Like you were saying, Miles Turner is a big piece of news in this game. If he happens to sit, you're going to talk about some of those big men, right? You're going to talk about Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith. But keep in mind, they're way more volatile than I think people realize. It's not like Isaiah Jackson is just locked in to like 30 minutes, right? He could easily go out there for only 20 or 22. So, and it's a 13-game slate, a lot of good plays. It's not like Indiana would be the only spot that we're looking at. So it would depend on his ownership. But yeah, he would definitely be the guy that I'm most interested in on the Pacers if I had to pick But that's if the news goes the correct way, right? It has to go that way.
All right. Great breakdown there. Concise. We're moving along, Travis, right? Against all odds. We might finish this thing before the games tip off tonight. The Toronto Raptors are +5. They're in Philadelphia. They're taking on the 76ers. Totals 224. Tyler, the Raptors coming off a 3-1 homestand. Fantastic. But they're terrible on the road, right? Gosh, I can't do it off the top of my head. But they're like 24-12 at home and like 12-21 on the road or something terrible like that. So they're definitely a team that needs that home court advantage. The 76ers here, do you have any news on Embiid? I think he's really hurt, right? But I don't see him on the report.
He's really hurt. He's not on the injury report.
So is he going to play tonight, or is he in one of those things where Basketball Monster, they already ruled him out and Basketball Monster's not putting him up?
I mean, if he's that hurt, I don't think he's going to win the MVP. I'll tell you that much. That if he's hurt enough to where Basketball Monster's not listing him. So I think he's fine. I think he's going to be out there tonight. Just like you said, Toronto stinks on the road, 12-24 straight up on the season, 14-21-1 ATS. I can't back his team on the road. We backed them a couple of times at home. Also, if Philly's going to put both their stars on the floor, they had that little hiccup where they lost 3 games in a row recently. But that was with Harden out of the lineup, and Embiid missed one of those games too. Both back on the floor last game. They put it on Dallas. I don't trust Toronto on the road, nor do I trust their size to be able to stop Philly. I'm on Philly here. I think they win this game.
Tyler, I played a prop. I took the over for Harden rebounds, over 5.5. He's been averaging 6.8 a game over the last 13 games. And I don't think it's, kind of like the Russ deal, but I don't think it's stat padding. I think if I'm a big guy and I know I've got a point guard who's good in transition and it's an uncontested rebound, I let the point guard grab it. And I'm seeing a lot of that happen with Harden, right? Where they drop 5 back and then the other players say, hey, go ahead, grab this rebound and get us going up the floor. So I like Harden over 5.5 rebounds. Yes, Embiid's not on the list here, Travis, so we have to consider him as a spend up. How else are we approaching the 76ers Raptors game?
Yeah, I will say one thing I am exhausted with is the MVP conversation. Just literally shoot me when we talk about that.
I mean, can we just end the award? I mean, it's terrible. I swear, like half these podcasts would have nothing to talk about without it.
We have like a week or 2 left of the season. Like I couldn't have, it's going to be painful hearing the discussions. Yeah, it's definitely a spot where we need the news on Embiid, I guess. It's going to be it's going to be uncertain with all these studs on almost every single slate, right? Tobias Harris is also ruled as questionable. I mean, the news is going to be very, very important for this game. So that's something we're kind of waiting on here of how to approach it. Studs, you can always make a case for spend-wise, but let's talk about Tyrese Maxey, because if you had, let's say you had an Embiid sit and you also had Harris sit, can you pay 8.5 for Tyrese Maxey in this spot? One argument you could make, and I guess let me get your guys' take on it. When James Harden plays the Raptors, we've seen the box and one in effect, right? Like we've seen them just push the ball out of his hands. Wouldn't that just leave an enormous spot for Tyrese Maxey to explode at 8.5K? I mean, again, it's a really tough tag. 8.5 is not something I'm dying to get to, but I'm just calling it out. If you happen to have one of those guys miss, it is going to be a guy that's might not pop up in projections, but might just slightly miss it. And again, if they do box and one, it could be good, but I don't think I'll end up taking that chance on this slate. It's just something to consider though, a little bit. I always at least think about it whenever I see like Curry or Trae Young against the Raptors or Harden. I at least think about it for sure. And honestly, one thing you could do is this is a live betting opportunity. If you see them doing it at the start of the game, you could just jump on a live bet and, just instantly. I mean, you could see it on the first possession typically. Could obviously be good for DeAnthony Melton if some of these other guys sit. I assume you're not going to want to play many of these bench guys. I don't think they're going to slide in the starting lineup because the stars that do slide into the lineup, it's typically it's guys like PJ Tucker, McDaniels, just like dudes that aren't doing much, right? So they're not worth playing. Toronto side of the ball. Let's see what their injury report is right now, because Toronto was a bit of a mess. They are at Banton, questionable, Barton, doubtful, Gary Trent, questionable. Let me see if there's anyone else out here. I know it's like a laundry list today.
It's so crazy.
They are a little more healthy in that front court, right? Like Precious technically back. Also, prices have gone up on some of these guys. We got Siakam 8.9, Van Vliet 8.6, Barnes is 7K. He just was 6.2. Jakob Poeltl's price has gone back down to 6.7. If Embiid didn't play, I wouldn't totally sleep on him as a contrarian option. But again, I don't think this is a game that I'm dying to get to. I think it's unless the news hits on Philly in a way to make us interested, I think I'm fading this game. If you told me all those kind of Sixers are healthy, and even Tobias Harris, if Tobias Harris even sat, I wouldn't be that excited about those other options. The argument you can make is Embiid. He's a contrarian option or not contrarian, but he's a raw spend up option. And with him being a raw spend, especially with a lot of people going to Sandro, maybe you do get lower ownership on spending up at the center position. And then that would naturally cause Embiid to be lower owned. And if he is going for that MVP, we talk about this in March and April every single year. Whoever the MVP candidates are, they're pretty much almost in play because on any slate, because of they're just chasing an MVP award.
All right. Yeah. And Travis, we couldn't be more aligned. It's conversations. Just it's been fatiguing. The New York Knicks, Tyler, your favorite team, plus 3.5. They're in Cleveland. They're taking on the Cavaliers, and not too much of a detour here, but I do think that this is an important storyline around this game. Tyler, you talked about teams being locked into the playoff position. I'd make the argument that these are two teams locked into their playoff position. Of course, the New York Knicks in 5th place, the Cavaliers in 4th place. That means barring something crazy, right, where one team wins 6 in a row or one team loses 6 in a row to end the season, this is going to be a potential playoff preview with the Cavaliers having home court advantage in the series. Tyler, how do you think that affects tonight's game? I know it's not like football, where the playbook matters that much more. But at the same time, right, you don't want to show your whole hand when it comes to, facing a team that you're going to face in the playoffs, which, like I said earlier, the Knicks and Cavaliers are headed on a collision course towards that first round matchup. One other thing we have to note, Julius Randle out for the rest of the regular season. Could be square. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, but I just went and grabbed the Brunson points. I just assumed he's going to take over that usage. He's been right around his number over the last 3 or 4 games with Randle in, and you got to assume that he's going to take a big chunk of that usage with Randle being out. So, Tyler, talk to me about this game, and how do you think it goes for teams that know they're going to play each other in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you see much of a different game plan out of here because just like you said, Randall's going to be out, and it looks like the Cavs are probably going to be without Jared Allen. So you get to hide a little bit of both teams because neither team's going to be fully healthy. But one team's missing a center who they kind of can replace with the guy next to him in Mobley. Mm-hmm. You look at the Knicks roster, yeah, Randall's – you could argue Randall's their best player. If he's not their best, he's their second best.
Okay.
Well, the guys behind him that are going to slide into this lineup, are you going small – and are you pushing one of the small forwards like a Barrett up to the 4 and hoping the Cavs match you and bringing quickly into the lineup? Or are you going to trust a guy like Obi Toppin to start? Are you going to start double bigs in Hartenstein and Robinson? So I just don't really see where the Knicks go from here with Randle out. I also don't know where all the point usage goes. Brunson could pick up a little bit of it. I don't think he's going to pour in 40 to 45 here to help you win this game.
The number that I bet is 24.5.
Yeah, that's a good number then. So I could see him getting in the 25 to 30 range, but I don't think he smashes this spot. I don't trust the Barretts. I don't trust the Grimes or the Quickleys every night out. Give me the Cavs here at home spread. I think this is one of the easiest bets on the board. Without Randle, I think this Knicks team's going to look a lot worse. The Cavs are rolling. They're at home where they played a lot better this season. I'm on the Cavs here minus the 3.5.
Travis, what do you think of that pick? And what do you think about when, two coaches know that they're going to play each other in the first round of the playoffs? How do you think that affects their approach for the game tonight?
I don't think the coaches care that much about it. These coaches are like, oh, we don't really care. We just play the game in front of us. I don't even know the standings. I don't even know the matchups. Right? That's what they always say. It's like
that's a Thibodeau line right there.
You think they're all hanging out with Ron Rivera before the game? Just
for sure. It's you'll get one of those. I mean,
that's on Team Kylie. They're not looking at the standings.
Yep, that's a Mike Malone quote as well. By the way, Mike Malone has said that before. That donkey.
Really?
Yeah, he made a terrible decision when he could have just rested his guys and gotten a better draw, and instead he played his guys and got the W. I mean, again, Mike Malone, certified donkey. But Yeah.
Wow, coming hot today.
Yeah, he's gonna make mistakes in the playoffs too. He'll blow something. But let's keep going on. Let's talk about the Cavs. I do agree with Tyler. I think he's bringing up good points there. Also, like I definitely will argue Julius Randle is not the number one on that team. I'm definitely going to argue that it's Jalen Brunson for sure. I will definitely agree that RJ Barrett's not the number two. I'll agree on that though.
We're getting lots of slander in this segment. Excellent work, Travis.
Yeah, it's just Julius Randle's just egregious, but we'll see. I'm excited to watch him this year in the playoffs to see if the growth comes through. I am kind of curious to see if he proves me wrong, right? Because I definitely haven't been. I made fun of him in that Hawks series, right? And then DeAndre Hunter just absolutely shut him down. But so yeah, overall though, DFS wise, like I don't know if we're gonna get to too many of these guys. Let me pull some stuff up just to like double check. But when I kind of ran things, I don't know, I wasn't getting a lot of them, but I could see maybe later on based on news, other things pop up. RJ Barrett at 6'4". I do think he's in play. Is Jared Allen back? Do we have that yet or no?
He's doubtful. I don't think he plays tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Evan Mobley's a good defender too. I know Barrett's obviously better when, he's able to drive to the hoop and not just shoot terrible three-pointers all game. Mitchell Robinson at 4'3" is cheap. I'll call that out. Obi Toppin, he is going to like project like he makes sense. Unless he's starting, and even if he's starting, I don't know if he makes sense. I'm just going to be honest. I think there's going to be better.
So a lot of Knicks Twitter thinks that even though it's an obvious opportunity with Randall out for Toppin to get more run, that Tibbs won't do it.
I don't think he should. But like the reason I'm calling it out is because like I know projections will push it, and especially if he starts, it'll also push it. So like I just don't want people to buy into it, at least right now. I'll talk about it on the 445 show. Maybe my opinion will change there, but I don't think it's going to. I think he could just be not worth taking that chance on. Josh Hart at 5'8", obviously he could slide into a really good opportunity. Jalen Brunson is 8K, and I think Jalen Brunson could have a good game, but I just think I'd rather spend my money elsewhere with my guards, and I just don't see myself getting at too many Knicks. Maybe RJ Barrett, but I still don't think I'm going to get there. I could see why it could make some sense. Cleveland side of the ball. Is this game in? Is it in MSG spread?
No, it's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah.
I'm contractually obligated to mention the Donovan Mitchell and MSG narrative, right? Like it's.
But looking at that, Travis, since he's gotten to the Cavs and he's gotten those 2 trips to MSG, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists.
Yeah, Tyler,
his one lone game in Cleveland against this Knicks team, 38 points. 12 assists, 8 threes.
Yeah, Tyler, you were hitting the point I was gonna make fun of that narrative and say it's stupid.
Oh, okay, I thought you were gonna go around. We gotta play it. He was gonna get traded there. I was cutting you off right there. I wasn't letting that happen.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say
I was trying to save you. I thought you were jumping down the hole. You were trying to send somebody else down the hole.
No, I had friends tell me about the Donovan Mitchell MSG narrative. And I know they're not watching. If you are, please tell me because I'll laugh about this now. But I basically was like, they were like, oh, you got to play Mitchell in the guard. I was like, okay. And then like, he was awful. So, but anyways, don't want to mess around. I don't think I need to play Donovan Mitchell. I did play him the other day actually. And it was kind of nice. It worked out pretty well for me, but at 9-1, I don't know. I don't think I'm dying to get there. I do worry too with this game. I don't know how you feel, Spread. I know you're big on superstar subtraction. I kind of worry this game gets ugly. I think Cavs could win this decently. So yeah, I just think there's other studs I'd rather play on this slate. I mean, I know it's a 13-game slate, right? It sounds like I've said that with a bunch of spots, but we'll get to them. There's going to be spots that open up too. Also, one thing to call out on this slate and the way to handle it is like, you might not get as many takes from me, especially at 2:38 p.m. Eastern right now. And one reason why is like, one, a lot of news is going to change the slate. And two, this is a very news-driven slate where I think you need to be updating things throughout the night. And like your opinions are going to change. They're going to change at 6:30, 6:45. They're going to just constantly be changing. And I want to make sure I focus on the really good spots. There's going to be so many on the board that, for instance, there's going to be one spot where like everyone's going to, right? Like Sandro's an example. Everyone's going to go to Sandro. But there's going to be other great center options that you can make as contrarian pivots that you don't want to completely ignore. So I'm trying to find those secondary pivots based on the news that might gain some less ownership and then attack the really good spots. Because even someone like Kristaps Porzingis, if this was like a 4-game slate, the dude would be like 70% owned. But on this slate, might come in at like 30 or 40, right? So naturally on a 13-game slate, ownership just gets pretty spread out.
All right. Yeah, and that's one thing fun about it, right? You don't necessarily have to worry about getting different. Run the guys that you want to run.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Hawks are -1.5. They're in Brooklyn. They're taking on the Nets. The total here is 240.5. Tyler, this is an interesting game. All right. This one should be a lot of fun. I know we have a lot that we're able to watch tonight if we have NBA League Pass, right? This is going to be, and this is why it sucks, because sometimes they end up not being the best ones. But right now, this is kind of at the top of my viewing list. The Nets are in 6th place. The Hawks are in 8th place. Now, earlier we thought, hey, the Nets are going to fall. They're going to end up being in the play-in. The Heat are going to catch them. Not so fast, right? The Knicks got that big win over the Heat. I think that was Wednesday night. And the Nets have continued to win. So the Nets are holding on to that 6th place spot. This is huge for them tonight to continue because the Hawks are in 8th.
Have you ever heard of this rule where division winners are technically a top 6 seed in the NBA?
That's not a rule.
Okay, because I've heard that said on multiple podcasts where it's like, yeah, Miami might be sitting 7 right now, but they're gonna win their division. If they tie with Brooklyn, they technically default to the 6th
as a tiebreak. Okay, that's a rule as a tiebreak.
Yeah, as a tiebreak, I could see that.
Yeah, that's a tiebreak rule. So I think it takes precedence over head-to-head.
Okay,
whereas
that makes more sense. The way they phrased it, the way it was phrased to me on the podcast, the way it came through was if they win the division, they just jump them. And I was like, I don't think that's how
I don't think so. I don't think we'll look into that, and maybe I'll Google when Travis is doing one of his extensive breakdowns. But I think it's only it supersedes the head-to-head because normally it's a head-to-head tiebreak, right? Yeah. So if the Nets and the Hawks were to finish in the same, it would go towards the head-to-head. But let's go ahead and look that up. What do you think here? I'm surprised that the Hawks are favored.
Yeah, I agree there. I'm surprised they are favored, and I think this is I think the last game was easier of a bet, but I think this is another easy one spread. You look at it, a key guy is out for Atlanta in this one that not a lot of people are going to talk about. DeAndre Hunter, key wing defender on that team, probably the guy that was going to check Mikal Bridges most of the game. Mm-hmm. He's not there to cover him anymore. Now it's going to be Trae Young trying to run this pick and roll offense with these bigs for Atlanta, trying to keep up. I think they can keep up. The total and the spread says this is going to be a close game. So I don't think the Nets pull them out. But I think in the end, the Nets just have too many weapons. They're going to be able to defend these Atlanta guys. They have a ton of guys they can throw Trae Young's way. I don't trust the bigs to win them the game either for Atlanta. I'm taking the Nets here to win this game as a 1-point underdog spread. Give me the money line.
All right. You like the Nets as a 1-point underdog. I do as well. Let's get some Nets action. Is Travis back with us?
Yep.
I'm back.
All right. Talk to me about this game. Do you agree with us that the Nets probably should be favored here?
Yeah, I like the Nets call. I think it's a really good one. I love this game for DFS too. This is definitely going to be one that I'm targeting. I mean, Trae Young, 8-9 is just too cheap, right? I think you make the case of DeJounte Murray at 7-6. He has upside at the price. Sure, range of outcomes is wide, but I think he definitely is not a bad one to consider. Bogdanovich at 4-6, I think that price is a little too cheap for the role that he could have. You can make the case for all these guys, like John Collins at 5-2. We know what his upside could be. He could easily have a 40-point fantasy game. And then Clint Capella at 6-2. The one thing I will say about Capella and like Claxton, both these teams are going to kind of like shake hands and be like, hey, we agree to play big, right? Like they're not going to go like super small ball, I would assume. So that's going to be good for those big men. I do think this is actually a good spot too for some of these Brooklyn Nets. The Atlanta Hawks fall into the camp of teams that we want to target in DFS. They're not like the Pacers, but the one thing that's nice about him is you typically think that like the Hawks won't get blown out by like 40, right? Like kind of like the Pacers will, and you won't lose all that run. Like when the Mavericks beat the Pacers the other day, that hurt a ton. I think this game will be competitive. This is definitely one that's on my DFS radar. Like Mikal Bridges at 7-8. I like Spencer Dinwiddie at 7-8. I think you can make the case for Cam Johnson at 6-8, but I prefer those other two guys that I talked about. And actually, is Claxton, am I missing something with Claxton, or is he not in? I must have an error on my stuff that I'm looking at, but is Claxton?
I don't see anything that says he's out.
Yeah.
What?
The only
I
guy
don't see him
listed
on
out
the
right now is
report.
DeAndre Hunter on the other side.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the cleanest reports. But
I
if you
must-
think
I
about
must
it, it's
have a
one of the
naming-
most important games. So I'm not surprised that we have.
I must have a naming error on the projection and stuff that I'm looking at right now, so I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, all in all, I do think Claxton is not a bad play too, because I do think that you can, feast on the boards in these up-paced matchups. So yeah, I think this is a really good DFS game. This is one I think you could even condense on. I know it's a 13-game slate, but if you wanted to be like, hey, there's like, I'm hoping to find the game that the final score is 140 to 137. This could be the game. It's going to have some ownership though, for sure. And again, I'm not caring that much about ownership today. So yeah, overall though, I like this game a lot. I'd probably rank it as, I know Dinwiddie's had some really sick minutes, but I'd probably list like Bridges and Dinwiddie. It's really close. I think it's 1A, 1B for me. Then I think it's Claxton is 3. That's on like the Nets side of the ball. And then Cam Johnson is 4. On the Hawks, I'd say Trae Young 1. I'd say Bogdanovich 2. Colin, or probably Capella 3, and then Collins 4. That's how I'd rank them on each side.
All right, there you have it. Let's keep it moving. The Utah Jazz are plus 9.5. They're in Boston taking on the Celtics. Tyler, the Jazz pretty like on the last game, Markkanen, Olynyk, Sexton, Clarkson, Rudy Gay all set. Taylor Horton Tucker went for 41 in 30 minutes, right? So they're embracing the tank just like the Blazers did. But is this a lit down spot for the Celtics coming off that huge win last night?
Yeah, I think there's a couple games we're going to cross off on this board, and this is going to be one of them for me. I'm not betting this game. Celtics are coming off that big win. You just look at the injury report. It looks like they're going to sit everybody too. Jaylen Brown's got a Q tag. Horford, Pritchard, Tatum all have Q tags. Robert Williams is doubtful. I wouldn't be surprised if they roll all these guys out. So complete stay away from me. I don't want anything to do with this game.
Travis, this has potential to be a huge DFS game, though. If these guys get ruled out, how are you approaching it?
Yeah. One thing I'll say is it's not bad to leave some roster spots open for this game. I'm not breaking this Celtics side down. I have no idea what they're going to do. If you can tell me what they're going to do in the chat, you got it all figured out, let me know. I'll go place a ton of wagers on it if I can, or find a way to take advantage. But I couldn't tell you. I don't got the crystal ball. Utah, I'll at least call this out. Walker Kessler either got hurt that game or like they were weird with his minutes. I do worry Utah is like they're down to dabble in some just like crappy players on their team and just mess with it. So again, I'm going to stay away from breaking this game down because I cannot tell you what the Celtics are going to do. I think they're going to rest some guys. There's going to be some good opportunity. We just need to know who the guys are.
One name I wanted to bring up to Travis because he's coming back to Boston. Any Kelly Olynyk?
I mean, if you think the game's going to be competitive, like if you play Kelly Olynyk, you want to play for the 30-minute game where he's like in a real like, and you want to have Celtics run back. So that's the only way I wouldn't play him by himself. I'll say that.
All right, there we have it. So that's how
also, Tyler, Tyler, you'll appreciate this. We hit that point in the season where Talon Horton Tucker is 7-9. So that's when you know it's April DFS. We're here.
Yeah, THT, right? And the first round picks. That was the most attractive thing that the Lakers fan told me all year, right? The THT and a first round pick was going to get me Dame Lillard.
There you go, Spread. Get in there on that Lakers slander.
I mean, in the end, I mean, it wasn't the exact package, but that package turned into D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt.
But they turned it to Damian Lillard.
I mean, they look pretty.
Come on, D'Angelo Russell. That's the only team he's good on. This is the only team he's actually good on.
I mean, hey,
where else does D'Angelo Russell actually help?
You find your spot where you're good at, and you stay there.
Oh my god, I hate this new Lakers fandom. As Jonathan Nelson, you guys like text each other every night. Does he send you everything to tell me?
Somebody's got to needle you nowadays, Fred. I'll take that hat and fucking.
I know. I noticed that Meg gives out the winners, but she's still a little too nice. She hasn't. I'm still waiting for her to give me a take where I sit back like this. She still hasn't given a sit back take yet, so we're gonna have to encourage her to do that. But Tyler, I'm gonna pat myself on the back because that was the perfect segue into the next game. The Los Angeles Lakers are -1 in Minnesota, taking on the Timberwolves. Total 232.5. Most people wouldn't think this is a big deal. Robert pointed it out to me, and I agree with him. Naz Reid, this is a big injury for the Timberwolves. He's a glue guy. Towns, of course, is back. Gobert's playing a little better. He's putting up numbers, so I'll be interested to see if Travis has any interest in him there. But the Lakers have been playing well, right? You wanted to crown them Western Conference champs after they beat the Bulls. Are you going to take your new favorite team tonight, Tyler, the Lakers, when they take on the Timberwolves?
Yes. And there's another big reason why we're not betting the Timberwolves spread. I know they were your preseason darling. If you get even the slightest edge on them in the projections, you're going to bet them. So we're not going to do that because this new look Lakers team, when everyone's healthy, they look like one of the best units in the league. I know you don't want to admit it.
I don't.
In the 4 games they played, they are top 3 in net rating, top 3 in defensive rating. So they're all the way up there with the top teams in the league. You had Gobert in the media after last game saying that these games are being refereed in favor of teams
that never
like
turned
the
out well.
Suns, the Lakers,
the Kings. That was great. Yeah. You threw us in there.
What a mistake to make that
Losers
comment.
make excuses, spread, just so you know. Rudy Gobert, certified loser.
Yep. What a mistake to make that comment before you play the team who has the biggest free throw differential of any team in the league. And guess who else they put in this game, spread? Just they need him a little bit more. Scott Foster. We are all over the Lakers tonight. They are going to roll into Minnesota. They're going to shoot 35 free throws total, probably more. AD's going to smash the front court. LeBron's going to handle the wings. They're going to win this game by at least 5. I'm on the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm with Tyler. I haven't done my Minnesota bet against them thing, and I got off at the right time. It happened to just be the perfect run pure when I got off where they started winning. I'm back on Tyler.
There we go, Travis. We're locking arms. We're on the Lakers tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. Spread your rebuttal.
He has none.
I hope the Timberwolves get an awful first round matchup and then just get closed down. I hope they don't get.
You know who I want them to? I want this. That's my matchup. I want. I want to play them as the Kings.
I want to watch.
Did you see why they said that the Warriors want the Kings spread? It's not due to It's not due to inexperience.
They don't have to travel.
It's not. Yeah, that's why. Old guys don't want to travel for. They're like, we could just stay in Northern California and just play our series.
Bro, they could drive there.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to play anybody else. Like, let's just stay right here.
I don't think they'll take the team playing. They'll just drive their cars up there. Draymond rolling in his Bugatti or whatever he's on. All right, Travis. Well, I wanted to put up, I guess for the sake of content, I should have embraced my inner Skip Bayless, but I really can't argue with a lot of the points that you said. I'll bet you Tyler's going to talk me into that RPB tag after the show. But talk to me about this game from a DFS perspective. Nasri doesn't affect DFS that much. I think he affects the betting a little bit more. Talk to me about, because it's so clean, are you avoiding this game?
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. Let's keep this show. We're not getting under an hour, but we're going to try.
Fantastic. The Detroit Pistons are +6. They're in Houston taking on the Rockets. The total is 227.5. Tyler, the last place team in the East, takes on the last place team in the West. Travis just threw out the last game from a DFS perspective. Can we throw out this game from a betting perspective?
Yep.
Or
I'll speed the process up. We said we're not getting through this in an hour. Throw this game out the window because if you're betting this game, just call that 1-800 number. You don't need any money involved in this game.
What do you think, Travis? How about from a DFS perspective?
I wish I could say that, but I can't. I think Killian Hayes on FanDuel is not the craziest idea. FanDuel specifically. DK, I do think Tari Eason is in play at 5.1K. You are missing Jabari Smith, right? That's going to help him. Also, Detroit is a spot where we target with big men. So Tari Eason, really, really strong play, but that's kind of it for me. You could make the case for Sengun as a super contrarian off the board one in like MME, but that I'm really going to get there. It's really Tari Eason or bust for me on DK, and then Killian Hayes or bust on FanDuel.
Well,
I will say one prop I would play in this game would be an Ivy points, just because the guard matchup versus Houston. That and the guard matchup versus Houston is just the best matchup in the league. If you're getting that points prop in the low 20s, the dude should score 25 in this matchup.
Yeah, spread. We're cruising. We got some big games to talk about soon, though. We're going to keep cruising, though.
Yeah, great job as your host here today, and Mikey not being in the chat has helped out a lot too. The Los Angeles Clippers are +5. They're in Memphis. They're taking on the Grizzlies. The total is 237. Tyler, these teams just played, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
They did, but they had different situations. Kawhi did not play, obviously.
Kawhi didn't play, and Memphis sat everyone not named John Morant.
And what was the final score? I know the game closed at -1, and I didn't bet it.
I think the Clippers won by double digits. They ended up winning by.
Did they? Okay.
It was who cares to who cares.
That's pretty much what it was.
Are they going to care
It was
tonight?
a meaningless game because no one was on the floor.
Are they going to care tonight? Either team?
Yes.
I mean, the Clippers, I guess, should care a little. I don't know where they are in the standings, but
well, good thing you asked.
I think they're fourth, right?
Me, I refresh these standings every single day, and I see where the Lakers are. They're in 8th place. It hurts my heart. But the Los Angeles Clippers are currently 5th place. They're 41-36. The Memphis Grizzlies are only 2 games ahead of the Sacramento Kings right now. They're at 48-28. The Kings are at 46-30. Let's see. So the Clippers at 4-5. If they were to win, right, they might be able to get the home court in that first round against the Phoenix Suns. But maybe, I don't know. Are they going to try to avoid Phoenix? Phoenix seems to be that team that teams
No,
might want to.
Fred, we know this. These coaches are not like, oh, we got to avoid Phoenix. Let's like, they just play the games. They worry about themselves, and they're just like you, Spread. They put their pants on 1 foot at a time. They just look straight ahead. They all the PC words for whatever coaches will say. They're not actually looking at it.
Interesting. Okay, so
there's
Travis
no chance that Ty Lue is like, we're gonna rest if that was the case, Kawhi wouldn't play today, right? But Kawhi's playing.
Okay, so
he went to shoot around. So I'm assuming he's playing. It's an assumption.
Do you guys both expect a full effort from both these teams tonight? Tyler, start with you. Break this game down.
Yeah, I'm on Memphis here minus the 5. I mean, I wanted to be on them in the first matchup, and then they rolled everyone out for Memphis, so I backed off. Didn't want to bet them. They're a tank at home, Spread. They're going to have all their guys back. I believe they're 30-6 at home now after that loss to the Clippers last time out. I don't trust this Clippers team. And if for any reason, because Kawhi didn't miss that last game for an injury, he missed it for a personal reason. If there's any little reason why they get close to game time and he's rolled out again, do we really expect Russell Westbrook to have a game like he had last time? He had probably the best game he's had all year. He hit 5 threes. He scored 30-some points, 10 assists. I do not trust that to happen again, especially if Jaren Jackson's going to be in the paint defending this rim all game. I have to be on the Grizzlies here minus 5 at home, so give me the Grizzlies.
Travis, the people are asking for it. Is there a chance that you're going to give some credit to Russell Westbrook after the great game he had last time?
No. If you saw, this Spider-Man gif of pointing at each other, Dylan Brooks and, Russell Westbrook, they were calling each other trash. I mean, yeah, you're both trash.
No. That's not Spider-Man.
They said Dylan Brooks met his match when he was doing that to him. He's standing there calling him trash.
It was trash pointing at trash. That's what it was.
No, but Russell Westbrook is like an all-time great player. Like Dylan Brooks, like we're never going to talk about him. Like Draymond said, we're never going to talk about him the second he retires.
Can we also agree, Travis, that the point guard on the other side in about 6 to 7 years is going to be in the same boat Russ is in?
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, not 6 or 7. It might be like 8 or 9, 10, maybe. But yeah, I'm not
sure those knees last that long.
Spider-Man gift, Ja Morant and Russell Westbrook in 10 years. Yes, agree. But Ja's a great DFS play today, like really good DFS play. As a spend, definitely have to like him in this spot. He'll be a good play. He's just underpriced because he wasn't starting, and now he is. Kawhi, you could obviously make the case he could be a really good play as like a spend up forward. Don't think I'll get there. It's really Ja Morant and Norman Powell, just because Norman Powell is now in a pretty good role where he's 4-8, and he is going to just see blowout run as well, right? He kind of feels blowout proof where he's going to get that 18 to 24 minutes. The only issue you're going to run into with Norman Powell is you're going to look around at the slate and go, Celtics value's better, right? You're going to look at these later games that we have some value coming up where I just don't think you'll get there. Right now he projects decent, but I think later on you're just going to be like, we don't need Norman Powell.
All right. And what side are you on for the betting?
I'm on the side that I don't care about this game from betting.
At least he's honest, folks. The Sacramento Kings. Oh, my God. You guys are lucky that we have 13-game slate because I probably would have spent an hour on this if it was only a 5-game slate. But we did it. We've seen the water. The drought is over. It's been so fantastic here. Living in Sacramento. Finally having a team worth talking about. We have the Beam, which Travis hates, but everyone else in the world loves.
I've turned a corner on the Beam. I'm team.
You were supposed to get the picture of the Beam after you guys clinched, and I seen no picture.
Yeah, you fudged up on that. Well,
I
right when
actually did. You're right. I totally forgot. I totally forgot that evening. I will head down. Hopefully, we win another game.
I think
But
you got a chance tonight.
we're minus 14 again. Tyler had a great time needling me on the show yesterday. Travis, because I was hesitant to lay 14.
You didn't want to pull the trigger on this bet last time out, Travis. He's like, we're betting the Kings minus 14. I said, they're playing the Blazers. So if we grab two guys out of the chat right now, us three and those two guys could beat this team by 10.
Also, spread it was like the clinching game, right? After they had blew one, like you gotta at least, sometimes you gotta have fun, right? I know
it was on the road where the home fans aren't the extra pressure on you to clinch this game. They rolled in there and they just housed them by 40. And guess what? We're gonna do it again tonight because the Blazers do not want to win games. So I'm on the Kings again, minus the 14. I just think this pace and the way the offensive firepower for the Kings are, even though they're not playing much defense, at some point in this game, they're going to go on a run where they're up and down the floor in 6 seconds on the shot clock, getting these shots up. They're going in, and you're going to watch this score just balloon. And they're going to be up 20 in the blink of an eye, and they're never going to look back. So give me the Kings again, minus the 14. I've penciled in the Blazers as that bad team that I am just going to fade, regardless of the number, until the end of the year.
All right. Tyler is fading the Blazers.
But how are you guys going to fare without star point guard Matthew Dellavedova out tonight?
Yeah, that's going to be rough there. Tyler, I actually did play a prop, and it's because, the blowout run is possible because I played the Fox prop on Wednesday night, and that didn't get there. My idea was he's going to play no matter what because it's a clinching game, but when they're up by 30. So I took Keegan Murray just with the idea that even if we do get the blowout, that he'll stay in, right? Because that's a player that Mike Brown's going to want to give run to. That's a solid player. So I took Keegan Murray over 11.5 points. He's hit that in 6 of his last 7 games. Another thing to note, Keegan Murray just passed Donovan Mitchell. 188 three-pointers made. That's the new rookie record. The previous was 187 set by Mitchell in 2018. Travis, talk to me glowingly about the best team in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I can't wait till one day I can tell my kids about the legend of Matthew Dellavedova. Remember when he was in the postseason?
So you'll actually talk about him. You'll talk about Dylan Brooks. That's for sure.
Remember when this guy was starting in finals games, kids?
The dude was a legend though. He was every day people were talking about him. Legit so spread. If you're watching a game, right? Say you're watching a game 15 years from now with your kid or your nephew, you're sitting there and they're and just on the screen they go, former Cavs legend Matthew Dellavedova. They'd be like, who is this guy? And then I have to explain the story behind him. He has a crazy story just of how he the finals thing was nuts. But we're talking about Matthew Dellavedova because I don't want to talk about Skylar Mays and the Portland Trailblazers. I do want to play them though. I don't want to talk about them, but I do want to play them. But
fantastic.
Shit Sharp is 7.9K. Not saying he can't break that price tag, but again, we're in April DFS. We're here. 7.9 is a lot. Is Watford going to play? He is questionable. If Watford's in at 5.9, I would really like him in this spot. This year, little 5.6, I think he's in play. Drew Eubanks at 5.4. Obviously, you have to like him. Another thing to call out with the Portland Trailblazers, they played 7 guys the other day. And randomly, Ryan Arcidiacono did not play, right? It made no sense. I didn't understand why. But they currently have on, let me see, what do I got projected-wise? I got Kevin Knox, Eubanks, Thibault, Little, Shadon Sharp, Watford, John Butler, and Jabari Walker. That's 8. Skylar Mays is going to be available, so I will expect him to get run. So I believe it'll be 9 bodies in. If Watford sits, that's 8 bodies, right? Because I listed him as one of the options. So if they're in an 8-body rotation, I mean, that's obviously something we have to like. They're also not accounting for Arcidiacono because they're assuming he does not play. He's doubtful. Reddish is doubtful. I don't think those guys are playing. We have to like Portland. But I think if I had to rank them, it'd probably be Nasir Little and Eubanks as my 2 favorite, followed by Kevin Knox. That'd be the top 3 guys. Shadon Sharp probably 4th just because he's so expensive. If Watford was in, he'd be really high up on that list. And then Matisse Thybulle probably is the last guy to kind of call out. Starting lineups will be important. I won't play De'Aaron Fox. I love the price at 8K, but it's not the spot. You know why? I called it last game. I said I love De'Aaron Fox's price, but he's not going to play the whole game, right? He's going to lose that 4th quarter rotation that we love. 27 minutes, I'm good. I don't need to do that. I don't need to spend on Sabonis. This seems like a pretty good stay-away spot for the Sacramento Kings.
All right. Travis is staying away from the Sacramento Kings. But I'm playing that Keegan Murray prop, and Tyler's telling me lay the points. I can't argue with Tyler, right? The kid's right more often than he's not. And I've learned my lesson on this show this year, right? That's one cool thing about us being on here every single day, right? I almost feel like the chat learned the lesson with me, right? As they saw me go against you and start to humble myself, listen, be more open-minded. And, I feel like I'm just a better version.
It goes both ways, Spread. There's days where it's like, I got to listen to you because I'm just going way too far down the hole. And it's like, you got to drag me back out of there before I lose money.
But I'm a better version of myself now, thanks to Tyler, the chat, the show, and, of course, our great guests like Travis Mangone. You can get all his content at runpuresports.com. Guys, we're here Monday through Friday. We're breaking down a 13-game slate for you. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tyler, our biggest spread of the day, and you're going to have to talk me out of this one too. Actually, I projected this game at 18. But plus 18, those are so tasty. I want to jump in. Tell me why I shouldn't take plus 18 with the Spurs tonight.
Because we've talked about these games before, Spread. Would we rather lose a Golden State minus 18 because they win the game by 15 and they led the whole game? Or do we want to take a plus 18 and they were within 18 points for about 5 minutes in this game and then they were down 30 the rest of the game?
Okay.
That's my only worry with betting these tanking teams that have absolutely nothing to play for. The Warriors, they're back at home where they play better. I'm probably just crossing this game off, but if I had to bet it, I'm taking the Warriors.
All right. Tyler says, Warriors are past, and I guess, you know what? It wasn't really that hard to talk me out of not taking the Spurs. Travis, is there any I haven't looked at the prices yet. Are there any missed prices in this game?
You can make the argument Jordan Poole slightly it's cheap for Jordan Poole, especially with the role that he might have in this game. He's likely in the fourth Curry's probably not going to play, and then they're going to keep Jordan Poole out there. It's like Spread. If you told me, hey, can you go pick up lunch? And Mikey's like, why can't I go pick up lunch? Be like, Mikey, we need Mangone there with you. You could go, you can drive.
But lunch might not come back if Mikey goes to get it.
Yeah.
Well, but if Spread has an adult there like me, I can make it. Again, that's Jordan Poole's role, right? They might have Jordan Poole out on the court, being the adult in the fourth quarter, making sure the game gets closed out properly, right? That's kind of the role that I think some of these guys get into. 6'2" is cheap, and if the game is competitive somehow, he is going to play, right? So I don't think Jordan Poole is that bad. But again, I think Jordan Poole could be one of those guys talking about him now, probably not talking about him later when way better news hits. Same with Draymond Green. I think it could be a good spot for him. But again, I think this game, they could easily kind of cut him a little early, which then that could lead to a pretty good spot for Jonathan Kuminga. And the reason these Warriors are currently projecting well is because they're playing the San Antonio Spurs. If you play the San Antonio Spurs, you project well. So it's just kind of simple. San Antonio is definitely a spot we like to target. But I think later on, we're just not going to like these guys as much based on how the news falls. Sandro is going to pop up a ton as a really good play. We know Warriors struggle against big men. Sandro at 5K seems like a good play here in this spot. I'll probably play between 25 and 30 minutes. So I like this spot for Sandro. I think he's going to be a good option. He will probably have some ownership, but that's okay. I think he's a good play.
All right. There you have it. The Warriors and the Spurs. If it wasn't for gambling, nobody would be watching that game. Wow, we did it. Last game of the night. And the slate hasn't even locked yet, Travis. Let's pat ourselves on the back. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets, who are plus 10. I haven't looked at the injury report specifically, but that line tells me there's going to be no Jokic tonight, Tyler. Who else is sitting for the Nuggets, and how do we approach this game with the Suns laying double digits at home?
We were talking earlier about not showing your hand in the Cavs-Knicks game. Well, it looks like Denver's not showing their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic still has that Q tag on him. KCP has a Q tag on him. Jamal Murray's not playing tonight. He's got a doubtful tag. That's the big one.
Tyler, I don't think it's them not showing their hand. I think it's we want to rest Jokic. Murray just played on a back-to-back. Mike Malone's not that intelligent.
Yeah, I mean,
wow, the slander continues for Sacramento Kings legend.
You don't think it was a little bit of like a smart move to sit Jokic last night? You think he's actually hurt?
No, I think they're just like, listen, the guy has grinded all season. We want him as fresh as possible. We're just going to rest him. He's just exhausted. That's all. I mean, it's like it's just simple. So, and I think Murray, you're not going to play him on a back-to-back like in April. Like, there's no reason to. If it was December, sure, I could see him doing it, or January. But now there's no reason to. They have the 1 seed locked up.
Where's Mike Malone under coach rankings?
Down at the list, like every single coach. Every coach is at the bottom.
Is he worse than Silas?
Yeah, they're all down there at the bottom. Every single one of them. They're all bad coaches, Spread.
No one can coach like Travis Mangone. I actually would like to see you as a coach. All right.
You would hate me as a DFS coach. You'd hate me.
Why?
I would maybe give you some information, but I would once the game's over in the third, I'd be like, all right, we're done. Like we're done here. Like if we're down like 35, I'd be like, but I will say I will bring the guys back in. If we battle back and bring it to like single digits, I'm putting the starters back in. That's
no way. You let the guys who brought you back.
No, Spread. They're plus 25. They're not going to be plus 37. Like that's absurd. Like you've got
to be plus 25.
You've gotten your 99% outcome. Now you look Kawhi straight in the eyes and you go, you just say to him, Moses Brown just went out there and just did all the work for you. Close the job for him. Get the job done. Okay? Coffee's for closers, Spread, okay? No coffee tomorrow.
Greats don't shake their head, Travis. Greats.
Right, could you imagine our guy Travis trying to get all the information out in a 30-second timeout? He's like firing at the guys. Like, we got to do this.
Yeah, you have 25 seconds left.
Yeah, it would. I would love to coach. I would love to coach basketball one day for sure. Matter football. Football would be. Yeah, I would be annoying.
Next football. RPS party, we get a 5-on-5 game going, and we got coaches. Travis is one of them.
Oh, I'd be fired up. I'd be trying every way to win the game for sure.
I need Travis to be coaching me, sir, since I got a little matchup and I pulled the Titletown and got just the plus EV of all plus EV. I can't believe you fell for that.
He's playing Mikey.
Mikey spotted me 11 points.
Oh man,
that's the most plus EV matchup of all time.
And they're playing to 15, Mangone.
Oh wow. Yeah, Mikey. Yeah,
that's not good. I don't like that. But even if I'm fully confident I beat the other guy, that's a couple buckets that like you can't mess up on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know what side I'm on yet, but I think spread.
You're gonna be on my side because I'm hiring you as the coach.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll be in your corner.
I need to know if you're coming in shape or out of shape. If you're coming in how you came into the last party, I might be on Mikey. If you show me you're in shape coming into this one, I trust you.
The thing is,
I even heard the quotes leading up to the party Spread. You're like, I'm not gonna be able to run around. I haven't ran around in forever. How am I supposed to back somebody like that in the 1v1 game?
Yeah, but if I'm in his ear, he won't. I will text him every day when I wake up and go, Spread, have you hit the gym yet? Spread, have you? I'd be ruthless and annoying.
Okay, well that's what I need. So. All right. Well, we did a great job. We made it through this whole slate.
Well, I didn't talk about them.
We didn't even break down this game. We just talked the injury report.
Let me touch.
That's pretty much all we needed.
Let me touch on it quick. The simple way to handle this DFS wise, again, it's a really good night to backload. This is like a great slate overview. Like this is probably more important than anything I said in the past hour, 10 minutes. Backloading is not a bad idea tonight because you have Portland as a backup plan if Denver somehow doesn't fall your way. You also have the San Antonio stuff, and the Golden State guys aren't the worst plays. You obviously have the Celtics stuff. Boston plays a little bit earlier. Maybe grab some pieces early, but it doesn't hurt to have a bit of a backload spot. There are plays that you can just get to. There's also studs you can get to. Again, I'm not saying I love Domantas Sabonis, but he is a stud that you could end up playing, right? Also, on the Denver side, Aaron Gordon at 5'9", that'd be egregious, right? If all those guys are out. Michael Porter Jr. 5'9", he would obviously be in a pretty good spot. There's a lot of good plays later on, so don't be worried about the backloading getting in trouble. There's a lot of different ways to go, and that's another reason why maybe locking into a Porzingis early isn't bad, just because you're gonna have all this value later on. So that's a strategy to think about too. Sometimes people backload too far, and then they go, well, "What studs can I get to?" And then they're like, "Well, now I have to play Sabonis," and it's like, okay, there is a stud for you to play. Sabonis is perfectly fine. It's his dad's old team revenge narrative if you want to really get out there Spread. But I think maybe locking, the more we talk about it,
that's stretching revenge.
I know, but
the dad's old team.
I mean, he was probably walking around the stadium though, having a good time as a kid. Maybe it's a little nostalgic, but yeah, overall though, I think the way I want to approach this is I want to make sure I have spots later on. I think it's a good thing to plan for. But you don't want to avoid everything early. Again, this will be a night where I'm going to make sure to update a bunch of myself. Like if I run stuff and I'm getting like 4 or 5 Celtics, I'm going to set a rule to get like maybe max of 2 or 3, depending how the situation is, because I want the ability to have flexibility later on, because there will be good plays. I just don't know exactly how they're going to be. And let's say you think both those guys are out. Change Aaron Gordon's projection now, and then look and see how much you'll get of them, because it's definitely going to be a spot where you have to consider these plays.
All right, there you have it. 13-game slate. We're going to have some good games to watch tonight, Tyler. We're just not sure which ones, because like I said, some of these games that I'm circling, right? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that Net Hawks is a blowout, and maybe like Jazz Celtics, a 10-point spread ends up going right down to the wire. Be a good night to have the remote control in hand. And of course, we'll be doing the playbook after this. So for the members, the tags will be up within 15 minutes of when we go off the air as we talk about these. I'm definitely going to be twisting Tyler's arm here because I like this Hornets play. So we should have that conversation on air, but we'll leave it. We'll leave some things privately. But what we're not going to do is leave out the best bets for the people. And we're going to start with you, Tyler. Best bet for today, side total or prop.
Yeah, I'm going right back to that Cleveland game. I think that's one of the easiest ones on the board. Give me the Cavs -3.5. I think that could be a blowout game. And we did this the other day, spread. We gave out a nice little 3-leg money line parlay.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Cavs money line. Give me the Nets money line. Give me the Lakers money line. It gets us 5-1.
All right. If he's giving you 3-leg parlays, you guys got to hit the thumbs up. Give us that thumbs up. Travis, what's your best bet for today's side total or prop?
You're on mute. Mute.
I'm on mute like a donkey. I was wondering what on earth was happening. But, yeah, we're going to keep it really simple, spread. It's just that easy. Where's Brooklyn at? Brooklyn, money line. They're taking it down. They're beating the Hawks tonight.
All right, now I'm going to stop you before you talk spread, because this is the second time in a row we've had this line up where I take one leg of this 3-leg parlay and I give it out. Somebody else turns around and takes the second leg of that parlay. And guess who's waiting for you right there at the end? Your favorite team is your best bet.
You guys don't want to play a prop? Do you really want me to do it?
Give out whatever you want, spread.
Should I? Fine. I will. Ivan Drago. It's like rooting for Cobra instead of G.I. Joe, but I'll do it. I'll take out the Los Angeles Lakers -1. My best bet.
I'm clipping this and sending it to a couple people.
I'd love to see it.
All right, Tyler. I'm true to my word. I am listening to the kid and not letting my bias enter into things. But hey, this is a fun show. Travis, we did a great job. Only 72 minutes. We went under by like 30 minutes, right? I mean,
we hit the under. People wouldn't.
They hit it on Bookmaker. They had us at like 105.
We went longer with Glock on Wednesday on like an 8-game slate than we did on a 13-game slate.
To be fair, we hadn't seen Glock.
Yeah, we talked to Glock for like 40 minutes before we even talked a single game.
Yeah, I mean, we had to slander Kyrie. That took a while.
I'll admit, I grinded it out to try to be more concise because we got a lot going on. We got MLB, we got NBA. I'm on cash charts. I'm on a million different things today. A lot of shows, so had to be a little more concise today, so I can get everything done.
Yeah, it might have been more concise.
A lot of work to do, spread.
Yeah, but the winner's still cash, no matter how long the breakdown is. So, Travis, you're not done yet, though. Your last chance to be long-winded. Give us some words of wisdom, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't signed up for Run Pure Sports, great time to do it. You'll get a lot of fun. Obviously, if you hung out for this show, you'll get some Rudy Gobert slander, right? You'll get Big T slander in some players. You get baseball takes, MMA. I mean, you get everything. If you are a sports fan, this is the place to be. Use the code Mangone15 if you want. Get you 15% off. But that's going to do it for us. Let's Run Pure.